Okay, a question I get all the time is how do I change the yarn color? And I'm just going to show you two simple ways that I do it. You can do it however you want. So when you get to the end of the row, you're going to do just like you created a stitch like you've been doing for the entire row. Instead of finishing off the stitch, I'm going to drape the new yarn over the crochet hook and pull that new yarn through the 3 loops that are on my hook, just like you just saw me do. Then at that point, I'll chain 1 and then I'll turn my work and keep working. Okay, here it is one more time just so that you guys can get what I was doing earlier. See how that looks? Just drape the yarn over and then pull it through just like you were doing your other stitch. So you will end up with 2 tails. You'll end up with the tail from the new yarn and you'll have the tail from the skein of yarn that you're currently working. So as I'm completing my next stitch of the next row, then I'll pause and I will just kind of tie those 2 tails together so that they stay secure. And then either I will work that tail over with my project or I'll weave it back through with the yarn needle. That's one way. So another way, simple way, is just to cut the yarn from the current yarn that you're using, and then take the new yarn and the old yarn and then just tie those 2 tails together, making a little knot. Okay, this one's a little crude, but I feel like if you're a beginner to a project, it might be a little bit easier to follow. So you just tie the yarn together. And then once you've tied the yarn together, make sure you cut the initial yarn, cut it kind of short so that it doesn't kind of bleed over into the next row, the color. And then I just cut off the tails as close as I can to the knot without cutting through the actual knot, okay? And then at that point, I'll chain 1, turn my work, and I will complete the next row. And that's just for this particular blanket. But there's a lot of ways, you guys, that you can change yarn color, change yarn. This is just one way of doing it. Now you want to make sure it looks nice and neat. If you don't like it, see there's a little bit left there. I'm going to pull it tight and I'm going to cut off that little end just so that it's really nice and clean edges. And that's it. So in this project, I have shown you 2 ways that I change yarn color. You can do whatever works for you, but that's just what I do. So I hope you enjoyed your blanket. Keep crocheting.